Good morning. It is a little bit after 7 o'clock here in New Vienna, Iowa. Tuesday, going for a workout on my Stryd subscription 10K training plan. Today on the menu, we've got a relatively short run, but intense. 8 times 2 minutes at 5K pace. And it is cold outside. Woo! Ride. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright, so let's move on. 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 Oh, I'm struggling. 3 down, 5 to go. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. We head for the sky, it's alright. Our wings wouldn't fly, it's alright. If we are crashing down again, pieces of love, it's alright. Scattered in mud, it's alright. You're giving me a lie again. And tell me what you want. This time I won't take it to the heart, 'cause I know we won't make it out. I've heard it all before. Yeah, tell me one more. I'm gonna do this. Oh, I'm gonna do this. Yeah! Whew! It's alright. Hey! It's alright. Hey! It's alright. It's alright. It's alright, so let's move on. 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 I did it. 5.38 miles, 8 minutes, 15 seconds per mile, 150 beats per minute on average today, going for what was an absolutely brutal workout, as you could see from the footage today. And this workout was prescribed by the Stryd subscription plan that I'm now 3 weeks into. And before we get into more detail on how I feel like the Stryd subscription plan is going, do want to go to some disclosures. The subscription plan is free if you already have a Stryd, so no one had to pay for it for me to get that. But Stryd's not paying me to make this video or to use the plan, and they're not going to get a chance to preview any of my footage or my thoughts before you guys get a chance to see this video on YouTube. So with the disclosures out of the way, let's talk about today's workout and how the plan is going overall. So today's workout was supposed to be 8 by 2 minutes, 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off, at a watts of 281 to 308, which for me corresponds to, I mean, the exact midpoint of that is my 1 mile race pace. So I guess in the beginning of the video, I talked about it being about 5K pace. The lower end of that is probably closer to like 3K pace. I've never raced a 3K, but I think that's closer to where it is. And the top end of that is probably closer to like if I were to run an 800 for some reason. And so the goal was pretty ambitious for today. I knew that coming in, even though 2 minutes isn't really all that long of a time. At that kind of intensity for me, it's a lot. I knew that this would be one of the more difficult workouts of the entire plan, and it probably couldn't have come on a worse day. I was already dreading it, but I got terrible sleep the night before. I got terrible sleep the night before that. Feeling a little bit run down overall. A lot of people in my house are feeling run down too. So just not a great day to be running a really tough workout, but I just felt like, you know what, I'm going to go for it today, see if I can surprise myself. And I did. Looking at the data after the fact, you're able to then look at how you did on each individual split and on the splits as a whole, which I think is pretty cool. And I was able to see that of the 8 reps, I hit my power numbers, or the level of intensity of how hard I was supposed to be working, for 6 out of the 8. And even for the 2 that I missed, I wasn't terribly far off. But I can also see my 2 fastest work sessions were my last 2 reps. Rep number 7 was 5:47 per mile for that 2 minutes, and rep number 8 was 5:38, which is definitely faster, I think, than my mile pace. So feeling really good about that. I love the way I can kind of look at a granular level at all the data, and also can just kind of glom all the work together to see, like, overall, was it a successful workout? I think it was. I did have to walk jog for a lot of the recoveries, which is not really what I was planning on doing, but I feel like I made that little kind of concession to myself, and I was able to get through the rest of the workout without having to, like, you know, modify the intensity or modify the numbers or modify the durations of any of the reps. So I feel pretty good about being able to kind of maintain the integrity of the workout. And when I'm training with power, overall, I think one of the good things about it is that I don't have to worry that I'm beating myself kind of up too hard. Because if it was something that I was going by pace for these intervals, then I would be concerned that, well, maybe too many of them were on uphill segments, and there were a lot of uphill segments. So maybe that threw off, like, the amount of work that I was supposed to be doing, or maybe there was wind involved, and so that was, like, pushing me back. So I had to work extra hard to compensate, to push against the wind, to reach a certain pace goal. And so I felt like I was doing the right amount of effort there. And so by the fact that I was just trying to hit the numbers, as long as I hit the numbers, I got the intended strain of the workout and hopefully the intended benefit of the workout. And that's kind of what I'm looking for when I'm looking to train by power. And this is the first time I've ever trained by power using the Stryd subscription plan. And so 3 weeks in, now I feel like I have a pretty good sense of what this plan's about, and I don't know exactly where it's going to take me, but I can give you kind of like a checkpoint in terms of how I'm feeling about it. So I could say that I've never really trained for a 10K before. I've trained for 5Ks, I've trained for half marathons and marathons before, but never really a 10K. I've run 10Ks, but not many. Which is one of the reasons why I thought I'd use the Stryd training plan for it, because it was something that I've been wanting to do, but I just didn't really know how to write the plans. But that being said, if I were to write a 10K training plan, it would probably look a lot like my 5K training plans, but with just some modifications. And one of the things that I would do is I'd probably have 2 workouts a week, one being more of like a threshold type of run, but not like one longer threshold, but like threshold repeats. And then another day during the week, maybe a Thursday, where I have something that's much shorter, more like something that's like either in the 400 meter or maybe 800 meter category per each kind of rep, but with much higher intensity. And then a long run on Saturday that probably has some segments of like threshold or just below threshold running in it. That's kind of how I would put together a plan. And the Stryd 10K training plan isn't that terribly different. On Tuesdays, is like running like today, which is like, I think it's supposed to be like threshold type running, although today was way beyond threshold running, in my opinion. But in terms of like the durations and the amount of rest, I think that's like a similar type of like aerobic and anaerobic goal it's going for. But because today was higher intensity, I think it's also working on that kind of like that 10K power. So maybe that's something that I need, and, you know, wasn't able to kind of figure that out on my own. The Thursday workout is usually strides, which is another high intensity workout, but the durations are always really short, like 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. But the number of repetitions that you do are much higher than I would have probably picked for myself. So again, a little bit different than what I would have picked. And then there's a Saturday long run, which is pretty easy. So not a lot of intensity in that one, in those long runs at all. And so that was a little bit of a surprise to me. If I were being coached by like an actual coach, like in real life, it's something where I'd probably go along with the plan, but I would probably also check in with the coach and say, like, here are some of my concerns. I feel like I need to be doing a little bit of longer duration threshold work for that Saturday long run. And like the workout like today, like trying to run like mile pace or near mile pace for 8 times 2 minutes at a time seems like not the right kind of workout for me to be doing as a 10K, but maybe that's exactly the right thing I need to be doing as a 10K. So like if I had a real coach, that's definitely some questions that I would be asking to see if like, is that intentional or can we dial that back a little bit? I'd like to dial it back a little bit because it was freaking hard out there. But for now, I'm just gonna kind of follow the plan, keep going with it. I haven't been messing with it too much. There's been some days where I've run a little bit longer just because I wanted to get some extra miles in because I like running. And there's other days, like every Sunday is supposed to be a complete rest day. I took last Sunday completely off, but other than that, I've been doing extra running, just easy running on those other rest days. So that's the other way in tweaking it. But in terms of like the actual workouts, I've been following the workouts as close as I can. They've been really hard and not long distances of running or long durations of running, but when you are working, you're working really hard on the Stryd subscription plan. So it's been a transition for me and a quick ramp up too, because 6 weeks, it's a long time. It is and it isn't, you know, in terms of how long does it take for your body to start responding to new stimuli that you're throwing at it. So I feel like I've been doing this training plan for a while, but at 3 weeks, really, I'm just kind of like, my body's only now starting to see like any of the benefits from those first workouts that I did. And in terms of how I'm feeling in that regard, one, my knee is getting much, much better. At the beginning of this plan, my knee was still kind of like iffy coming back from like some lingering knee issues. Now I'm feeling much better, almost 100% in terms of what's going on with the knee. But in terms of like the benefits that this workout plan can give to me, I do feel like I'm stronger. I feel like I'm training for like a 5K or a 1 mile time trial, to be honest. I'm still concerned that whatever power number the Stryd is going to tell me to race at, I just don't know that I'm going to be able to hold it for 10K. So a lot of confidence is lacking, and I don't feel like the workouts are doing a good job of building the confidence in that regard. So like I'm going to have to rely on my own psyche to create that confidence, and that's usually not a recipe for success for me. I'm not looking for this 10K training plan to like work miracles and shave like minutes off of my 10K PR, but you know, I just wanted to kind of like jumpstart some fitness for me, since after the 50K or the FKT, which wasn't quite 50K, that I did, my knee, that's when my knee really started bothering me and my mileage went down a whole bunch, and I felt like I didn't lose fitness so much as I lost a lot of sharpness. So I really wanted to use this 10K training plan as a way to like quickly sharpen up, and I definitely think it's achieving that goal the hard way. In a good way, but it's been really hard. So those are my thoughts so far on the Stryd subscription plan after 3 weeks. If you have any questions about it, feel free to put them in the comments down below, or better yet, I do a live stream every day on YouTube at 3 p.m. Central Time. You can always feel free to ask me a question there. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of the video. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there on your runs, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yo, what's going on?